What's up guys, Justin here with the FusionEssentials.com, back with another Fusion 360 woodworking tutorial for you. So in today's video we're going to continue our last series on modeling our cabinet by creating some actual plans for building our cabinet inside of Fusion 360. So let's go ahead and just jump into it. So we've talked about this a little bit in the past, but I wanted to get a little more in depth on some different things you can do to create these plans inside of Fusion 360. So what I want to do is I want to create not only plans showing this overall assembly, but also how to show you just different parts and pieces of this as well. So the first thing to do, if you remember, is you need to make sure that you've saved your model, but then we're going to go into this little drop down right here and go into the drawing options. And in this situation, we want to select the option for from design. And so when we do that, it's going to ask us what to reference. So in this situation, it's bringing in the full assembly. If you wanted to, you could reference just individual parts and pieces. I want to bring the whole thing in, so I'm just going to leave this checked. You can also set things like if you have any templates, which we don't right now, or you can set your sheet size. So I'm going to leave this at 11 by 17. I'm going to click on OK. So what that's going to do is that's going to take us into the drawing workspace where we can then place our base view of our drawing. And so in order to do that, the first thing you need to do is you can see how your mouse kind of sticks to a view of your cabinet or your assembly that you're bringing in. Well, what we want to do in this situation is we want to click in order to place that view. And so that is us basically creating our viewport into our model or our assembly and dropping it on this sheet. So the sheet kind of acts a little bit separately from the assembly itself in the sense that this is a viewport that we can bring in. We could bring in other views as well, which we can talk about a little bit later. But for right now, if you look at this, you can set other things as well. So you can set like the orientation of the view of the object that you're bringing in. So for example, if you wanted like an isometric view, you could select that. If you wanted a top view or something like that, you could do that as well. So for this one right now, I'm going to start with just a general front view of my cabinet. And then you can also set your scale, which is going to set how big this is on your sheet. And notice that when you do this, this is actually going to get created to scale. So if you were to print this off to 11 by 17, for example, you can actually scale this with like a scale. So what we're going to do here is let's go ahead and bring this scale down to like 1/8 of an inch. So let's make this a little bit bigger. Notice how this is a little bit high on the sheet. What you can do is you can click over this little box right here. We can move this around in a second. The other thing we can talk about is right now you can set your style of your view. So you can either set it to be shaded, meaning it'll actually show the textures that are applied to this, or you can set it to show like visible and hidden edges with like a black and white view as well, which is what I'm going to leave this on. And then I'm not going to worry too much about these options for right now. So we don't have a ton of edge issues on this model. So we're just going to leave these as is as kind of the defaults for right now. But you can go ahead and click on OK. What that's going to do is that's going to place your view inside of your worksheet. And so first thing to know is you can click on this, and then you can click on this little gray box, and you can drag and move this around. So I can single click. Actually, you don't drag, you single click, and then you click again in order to place this. And so what this has done is this allows me to, whenever I click on this, I can move my viewport wherever I want. Notice I get some kind of inference locking on different angles, and so if you just wanted to move this up or down, you could do that as well. And so now let's talk about how to get some extra views inside of this workspace. So there's a couple different ways that you could do this. So the first is if you wanted to, you can add a new base view. So you could add a completely different base view. So that's going to be a new view into your model. So if you were to do that, you can see how I can click in order to place this. And you can set your reference. So if you had like multiple models or something like that, or multiple different components, you could do that. You could also reference like an exploded view, which I don't want to talk too much about right now. That may be a separate video, but you can set a separate view, and then you can make this look however you want. So that's one way to do this. I'm going to cancel that. Another way to do this is to create a projected view. So what a projected view does is it takes a view that's already in your drawing and it projects it out so that you can get different angles. And so for example, if I was to click on projected view here, then I was to click on this, this would set this as my parent view, meaning this is the view that the other views are going to be based on. And I can single click And then if you notice, if I move my mouse in different directions, I get different views of this model. So for example, if I was to move this down, you can see how I get a bottom view. If I move this to the right, I get a view looking at the right-hand side. If I move it to the left, I get a view looking at the left-hand side. So you can use this to place different elevation views, or if you go diagonally, you can also use this to create projected isometric views. So you can see how, for example, I could set an isometric view up here really quickly. I could set an elevation view, a bottom, an elevation view over here, and an elevation view over here. And so I'm placing these views for right now, and we will move them around in a second. But for now, in order to set these, I'm just going to hit the Enter key. And so notice how when I do that, what these do is this now applies the style that I had selected from this object. But note how I can move this around on my sheet. So if I move my base view, so this central view right here, the tops and bottoms of these stay aligned with your base view. But then you can also move these individual views around. So you can see how I can click the individual view and I can put it wherever I want, especially for this isometric. So I could do the same thing here, but I can only move it left and right. Notice how I can't move it up and down because it keeps these aligned, which is really helpful because that means this is kind of locked in and we can use it to create dimensions in a minute. So for right now, for example, what I might do is I might move this over just a bit, maybe move this over just a bit, and move this over just a bit. And so you can see how I can kind of move these around while keeping the projected edges or the projections aligned. So all of these stay 100% aligned, but then I can place them on my sheet just like this. And so this is a quick, easy way to create some general views inside of your sheet. And so let's talk just for a second, I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole right now, but about adding some dimensions. So one cool thing about Fusion 360 is it's set up to easily allow you to add dimensions to your objects. So for example, you can click this drop down and you can see how there's a number of different dimensions in here. So the overall dimension tool will just kind of automatically align, but you can also create angular dimensions, radius dimensions, all of these different things in here. For now, for example, let's create a dimension that shows how wide this is. And notice how when you select a dimension, you get like a little inference over a corner. So I can use this in order to set my dimensions inside of my model. So you can see how what this did is this gave me a dimension inside of my model. So it's showing me the length between here and here. However, I want to change my settings a little bit so that I actually get some more information about the units. And so the way that we're going to do that is we're actually going to go down to our annotation settings, and down below you can set things like your font, but you can also set your unit format. So for example, you could set this to be decimal or fractional inches. So you can also click on the button right here for display annotation unit, and what that's going to do is that's going to show your units in here. So when you do that, now if I add something like this, you can see how this is showing my annotation unit in here, in addition to showing the fractional inches right here. And so you can use this to really quickly add dimensions to your drawings, just like this. And you can also set this if you have any trailing or leading zeros. So, and that would be more of a like decimal setting, but you could set this to display your trailing zeros, to have this go to like 12.50 or something like that. Probably more useful if you're using metric, but yeah, so we're good to go there. You can also set the precision of your units as well. And so one thing I want to do is I want to change the style of this object. So you can change the style of your individual projected views by double clicking on them. That's going to pop up your appearance settings. Well, in this case, I'm going to turn on shaded with hidden edges right here and click on close. And so you could also turn on just shaded if you didn't want to see the shelves in here. You could definitely do that. And so what this does is this gives you the ability to give an overall view of your cabinet. So let's go through and let's create a view where we only see one thing, like a shelf. So let's say we wanted to create like a detailed view of the shelf. What we could do is we could create a new drawing. And so in order to do that, you can click on the button right here for quick add. So what quick add is going to do is that's going to allow you to create a new sheet inside of your model. And so what we want to do is we want to add a new base view. So you can go in here and you can click on base view, in order to add a new view to this sheet. So this is a completely different view than the one that's referenced over here, meaning you can do some different things to it. So in this situation, what I want to do is I'm just going to double click on it again. We're going to set our scale to 1/8 of an inch again. And what I want to do in this situation is let's go ahead and leave this on front elevation. And I want to turn off this front door. So I want to hide the front door so that I can't see it anymore. So the way that I can do that is you can select objects over here and turn them on and off. So for example, I know that these objects right here make up my front door. So I'm just going to click on one and then do a shift click and click on the other one over here to select them all. Then you can right click and you can do a show hide. So when you do a show hide, what that does is that'll hide the objects that you had in here. So if I double click on this, and let's say I looked at it from the northeast isometric again, you can see I have that same view but without my front cabinet door. So you can use this in order to turn things on and off inside of your model. Just like this. And so if you look at this, you can see how this gets brought in as its own object. And so what that means is that if I wanted to, I could create another base view over here that would be completely separate. So if I added another base view right here, just clicked, we'll go ahead and we'll set this one to 1/8 of an inch as well. We'll just click on OK for a second. Notice how this brings that in as a completely separate view on the left-hand side. So while this one over here is not showing my cabinet door, this one still is because I didn't set it to not do that. So you can see how you can use these different base views in here to show different parts and pieces. But let's say for this one, I was to hide everything except my shelves. So the easy way to do this is to mouse over this until you find one of your shelves. So in this case, I'm going to find this particular shelf right here. And I am going to basically do a shift click to select everything. Then I'll do a control click in order to deselect that one object. Then I'm just going to right click and I'm going to do a show or hide. And so what that means is I now have the ability to just look at this individual shelf right here. And again, I find it easiest to use the projected views. And so what I want to do is I want to start with a front view, my shelf right here. And then you can just create a projected view of your shelf just like this that's aligned with this. So if you wanted an elevation view, you could create one. But you can see how I can basically use this in order to add these views, and then I can kind of align everything once I've done that. So that means that I could call this something like shelf detail. So let's say I wanted to add some text. I could just click on text, click right here, and just add the text. And you can double click on this and shift, or you can double click on this and then select it in order to adjust this. So you can make this bigger, you can make it bold, different fonts. You can kind of justify that however you want. But we could use this in order to add dimensions right here. And then you can go through and you can also adjust where these dimensions are shown. So you can kind of move this around if you want to in order to customize the way that these look. You can see how adding dimensions is really easy. And so in this situation, what I might want to do is I might want to create a front-on view and then move my perspective view down here. And right now, if you do a projected view from a perspective view, you can see how it gets kind of weird. It doesn't quite give you what you might want. So probably what I would do in this situation is I would take this and I would change this to a front view and move it up a little bit, and then I'd create a projected view in the direction that I want to show. So I could create this projected view right here, but then I can move that down so that it fits more on my sheet somewhere else. So that's the nice thing about the projected views. You can really kind of put that wherever you want to put it. Then you can move everything else around in order to make it all fit. You can also adjust, once you've created that perspective view, the scale a little bit. So if you needed to make this a little bit smaller, you could do that by double clicking on it and adjusting the scale. And then within your sheet, you can double click, and we could just call this something like shelf detail page in order to rename that sheet. And then from there, you can take your sheets and you can output them to a PDF that you can then print. So for example, and there's other options in here as well, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to create the output PDF. And you can either set it to export the current sheet or all of the sheets. I'm going to leave it on all of sheets and click on OK. It's going to ask you where you want to save these. So you can just name these cabinet plans, hit enter. Then it'll export those plans to an 11 by 17. So you can see how I've got kind of a set in here. And it'll open those up inside of your PDF viewer so you can look at these. So you could then print these to an 11 by 17. And notice how this shows the scale down below. You could scale these as well. So that's where I'm going to end this video. In the next video, we can talk through how to create a materials list based on what we've created inside of this drawing, as well as how to create an exploded view of your cabinet using the drawing tools and also the animation tools. But leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought. Was this helpful to you? Did you learn anything? Or do you have any questions? I just love having that conversation with you guys. If you like this video, please remember to click that like button down below. If you're new around here, remember to click that subscribe button for new Fusion 360 content every week. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.